Junior high?
Uh,
What now? It's time to leave the house, so time to come back home again.
well, I leave the house, then I come back and get what I forgot, and then I leave again, and I run to school, and I go in the door, and I go to my locker, and work my locker a few times till I get it right. Then I get my books out, and then I go to Mr. Cost's room. That's my home room, and he tells us the announcements, and then after 13 minutes of announcements, I go to I stay there. He's my history teacher, and I have history, and then after an hour of that, I go to Miss Silcock's room for English. After an hour of that, I go to gym, and that's for an hour too. And after that, have lunch. After lunch comes science with Mr. Griggs, and after science comes math with Mr. Corbin, and then after math comes home economics with Mrs. Hall, and after home economics comes the activity period, or the study period. And then when the bell rings, just leave, and I get my books, and I walk out the door, and I wait for anybody, and then I come home.
Do you want to say anything? You want to recite a poem or a thought that you might want to say? Do you have a word for today or a motto or anything you might want to say?
Be prepared.
Well, that's a good motto.
You, Linda Carlson from New Middletown, visiting the Holdfords in Mount Vernon. What's your name?
Linda Carlson.
Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, dear Mommy and Daddy. Happy anniversary to you. Happy 51st anniversary. Bye-bye.
Ruth Ann Holdford. Jack Holdford. Tom Holdford is a graduation picture. Dorothy is celebrating her birthday in the dining room of East Chestnut Street. Dorothy and Mary Ellen King are dressed up. They just come back from Easter church service. Well, it's a birthday for Dorothy again. I think she is making a wish. And I think she blew out all the birthday candles. Wonder what she's thinking about. Dorothy is sitting in a coach in a train going from London to Portsmouth on our trip to England. Dorothy is standing opposite Buckingham Palace. Arthur is standing in front of the Prince Albert Memorial across the street from the hotel in London. Dorothy, Alfred King, and Pat, his wife, are in their living room in Welling Garden City in Hertfordshire, England. We went to Isle of Wight, and Dorothy is looking out of my Aunt Kate's or Auntie Kit's cottage. Well, I'm sitting in a coach. Dorothy just took my picture, and we're on our way from London to Portsmouth. Arthur is standing outside the Tower of London. Dorothy and I went to visit some cousins, and we didn't know who we were really going to see. And this is Ernest Robert Sherman and his wife, Bob and Edith, were good friends of my parents, and at one time they lived in Youngstown in the early 1930s. They were very gracious to us when we visited. This is Auntie Kent and Uncle Bill. They're standing out their home in Isle of Wight. Auntie Kit is my dad's sister. This is my cousin Doreen Root, and she and her husband Arthur Evans were very gracious to us. In fact, Doreen took us around, and when it was time for us to go back to the airport, she took us. Well, we're all having a grand time at the Playboy Club. I'm on the left, Joan, who is Victor's wife, Dorothy and Victor Foster, Bill Foster's son. were at the Playboy Club in London. Victor kept pinching the bunnies as they went past. Victor came up to our hotel room. And that's Dorothy and Arthur in their hotel room in London. Very good accommodations. Mary and Willie are having a good time at East Chestnut. This is just about a year before she died.